Did everyone have a chance to review the minutes? I'm sorry, let's do the roll call.
Here.
Here.
Now, did anyone have a chance to take a look at the minutes?
I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And that passed. Do we have any unfinished business? Hearing none, let's go ahead to the, let's see, Light the Way worship event.
Hello, my name is Kathleen Meisberger, and I'm the founder of Light the Way. Asking for permission to use Founders Park on May 18th for a worship event. The event itself would be between noon and 5, but we would be using the park between 9 a.m. for setup and hopefully be out of there by 6 p.m. And it is a compilation event with multiple churches from all over Northwest Indiana And we just put on a worship event, all different denominations of Christian worship, with 3 food trucks, and nonprofit organizations come, usually faith-based nonprofits, to kind of let people know about resources that are available in Northwest Indiana for some for addiction. We had 500 turkeys. True North Stables came. We've done 2 in Chesterton, averaged about 700 people to come out, but this will be our first time in Portage if we're allowed to use the space.
Have you met with the park department?
I just spoke with Amy about it.
Yeah, it seems like maybe this should go to the park board first.
Okay.
Is that right, Amy?
I mean,
Did they go to the park first, and then the park said come to here, or?
Okay, I don't know, but I guess it will, yes.
I mean, what have we done in the past on these? Do we know for events at Founders?
And then go there.
It goes here, then goes there, and then the details of like rental and, or cleanup and that kind of stuff are worked
That's
out?
all through, yeah. Normally what happens is you come here, they give the idea of what the thing is, you guys approval for the land itself. And then for the park board, that's to approve for like waiving of the fees and things like that. But then should fill out a contract with us at the Parks Department with all of the details.
I'll make a motion, we approve the Light the Way event for May 18th.
I'll second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And congratulations.
Thank you.
Up next, we have the Bethel Church event.
Hi, good morning. So last June, we had an outdoor service at Founders Square, and we would like to do the same thing this year on June 9th. The service time would be at 10. They would probably set up about 6:30 for the sound and all the equipment that come in. We would have a coffee truck and probably 2 food trucks. So we would love approval if possible.
Are there any questions?
So this would be the same process as the
Yes.
previous one, so,
Yes, and I would go to the park board meeting to get a reduction like last year.
okay. I'll make a motion to approve, and I suppose, Ed, should we say motion to approve contingent upon park board approval?
Yes,
We probably should have done that for the previous one too, right?
yes.
Okay.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Great. Thank
Congratulations.
You
you.
want
Thanks.
to crack that record? If you could, yeah, recall it to offer an amended motion.
I want to offer an amended motion for the Light the Way on May 18th to approval contingent upon follow-up with the park board and the police and fire if they need to.
I'll second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, so now we have our open bids and award 2003 to CCMG Street Paving and Repair Project.
Good morning. This paving project is for Oakwood and Belmont off of Mulberry. This is a project where we received grants money from the Community Crossing Matching Grants Project, or grant program, and we need to get this under contract before March 1st, or we might lose our funding, so hence the reason why it is open and award today rather than open and take under advisement. So for the award, if we could award contingent upon Attorney Graham's review and approval. So we received 3 bids. Our first bid is from Reith Riley. And their bid is in the amount of $121,641. $121,641. All right, our second bid is from Milestone. And their bid amount is $134,537.05. $134,537.05. And our third bid is from Site Services, and their bid is in the amount of $111,932.55. Let me say that again. $111,923.55. With that, I would recommend that the Board of Works award the project to our lowest bidder, which is Site Services, continued upon Attorney Graham's review in the amount of $111,923.55.
Is there any discussion or a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the paving contract to Site Services, contingent upon Attorney Graham's review in the amount of $111,923.55.
I'll second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes.
We have the Great Lakes Engineering contract.
So what you guys have in front of you are three separate contracts for road design. We have a special situation. There are a couple cul-de-sacs off of Stone Avenue where they're wider than the typical subdivision streets. I think residents in the past have paved all the way up to their sidewalks. It makes it difficult for maintaining as far as snowplows go. And because the asphalt has been added after the fact, it's not in the best condition, it's falling apart. So what I wanted to do is Great Lakes redesigned Evelyn Street off of Stone there, and these four cul-de-sacs are really similar. So I wanted to move forward with them redesigning these cul-de-sacs for a possible reconstruction project next year or the year after.
In each of the letters, it references the contract.
Pardon me?
In each of the letters, it references the contract. Is there specific, what are they referencing?
I believe they're referencing the contract that we passed in the, I believe it was the first meeting, that we had where we accepted them. So I believe it's within the scope of how they're billed within that contract. Right.
With their general services contract, yes. But the funding will come out of a different category, so I wanted to make sure that you guys approve this because it'll come out of our local road and street projects.
So just to be clear, so this is all part of the original, the service contract we have with Great Lakes Engineering? So
correct.
these aren't like separate carve-outs that are additional amounts? Or are they like are things that are out of the scope of that contract?
They're within the scope, but because the funding source is different, wanted to make sure that you guys saw it and were okay with it and received separate approval.
Thank you. Did that make sense, Andy? Yeah.
I'll make a motion, we approve the 3 Great Lakes engineering contracts that were presented.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Thank you.
Thank you. And then we have the MS consultant contract. Tom, did you want to come speak about that?
Good morning. This is Attorney Graham has reviewed this agreement and approved it, or, the wording. This is a firm in Indianapolis that we're looking to bring in to take a look at a few things in the planning department. Planning regulations and procedures, zoning ordinance, all things relevant to submission, administration, and enforcement, rules and procedures of the Plan Commission and BZA. Planning Development Standard Operating Procedures. Planning Department's Permit, Petition, Application, and Information Forms. So kind of looking at the process, the forms, and rules and regulations regarding BZA and Plan Commission. This audit area aims to answer the following questions. How do these documents shape the land use and development process? Do these documents clearly communicate to people, developers, staff, plan, commissioners, what they're supposed to do? Separately, they're going to look at communication with the public, answering people's questions during the permit, petitions, communication before, during, and after public hearings, website, application information forms, and public hearing participation. So basically how we communicate with the public regarding these procedures, forms, and the whole process. So they'll come in for a site visit, would be about 2 days. Talk to all our staff, look at our forms, look at our filing, look at, just all the procedures, and then come back with recommendations. So that is it in a nutshell.
The contract's only 2 months old, or 2 months long, I should say? The term?
Yeah, it's a short process. They originally came in to look at some other things as well. We kind of dialed it down to what we think is going to be needed. And yeah, so it's a shorter process than originally planned. So it'll be about a 2-day site visit and then come back for recommendations. So
Make a motion, we approve the consulting contract to MS Consultants.
Second.
All in favor, if you could signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
thank you.
We've got the bulk items appeals, 2.
Mayors and members. We have 2 bulk item appeals here. We're going to, Robbins Road, this is Ms. Snow, and in the documentation that you may have gotten, considering the 4 separate pickups that we did at her residence on Robbins Road during the month of October. I did meet with Ms. Snow at the beginning and have come up with an tentative agreement of reducing that bulk. She's here today to answer possibly any of your questions. And then if you do have any questions, you could ask her today. But my recommendation in this situation is to reduce the bulk item by 50%. So it was a $600 charge. We've come to a tentative agreement only upon your finalization on it to charge the residents of $300. So if you do have any questions.
Good morning.
Do you think the $300 is fair?
Yes,
The only reason we ask is just, it takes a lot of manpower and the equipment, and it just has to be something, right?
I understand.
Okay.
It is under the understanding going forward, if bulk items are placed, it will be full charges, so, according to ordinance, so.
I'll make a motion that we approve the amended bulk item charge to the amount of $300.
A second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
And next up is Metz.
Yes. The next charge is from Eleanor. We picked up on October 5th. It was considerably a large amount of decking from the back of the house. It was placed at the curb. So I did speak with the resident, and we've come to another agreement of possibly of knocking this in half. So the total charge was $500. We've come to a tentative agreement to knock that 50% the 250. So he's here to ask it.
So Randy, I'm looking at these pictures, this is pretty excessive. What is the cost from the manpower, and then what's it cost us to dump this, something like this? I mean,
This one it filled the entire truck. So we have 2 employees, piece of equipment, they go there, fill up, and this one was a one trip. So we took all that to the transfer station, and then it's about a 20-minute trip, 10 minutes to drop off, and then 20 minutes to return back on the routes. So,
so I guess my question is,
Yes.
is it $250 or less?
$250, no, it pretty much cost us that full $400 to $500 easily, so.
What
I
is
couldn't give you a
the-
precise amount, but approximately $500.
What is the premise of the cut?
The premise of the cut is just an agreement going forward with the resident. The department is willing to eat half that cost with the resident under the understanding that going forward, it's full charges. So this is like a one-time deal here with this resident and giving them a break. So it's,
I'll make a motion, we approve the amended bulk item charge to $250.
I'll second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Thank you.
If I could, Randy, is it
Yes.
possible, I mean, so that we have 2 of them here that, were in excessive amounts, and it's costing us more money than it normally would on a bulk pickup.
yes.
Well, the city,
The
right?
city.
Right, that's what I'm talking about. So
Taxpayers.
the taxpayers. Is there something we can do in a communication to, like, because both of them said, well, we didn't know, we thought it was going to be only $100 or whatever about the fees.
Yeah.
I could
Is there
say-
something we can communicate out there that says, this is what we pick up normally, like a diagram or this is what it looks like, a visual?
So
and
that's
then-
actually-
And then put those fees out there so people do know in the future?
That's
Because
in the works
we took a
because,
hit.
that's in the works because we're actually, and again, we're waiting on a council vote, this month to change the fee schedule. And then we're putting out the full, piece of information about what the cost is now. Because it's quite a steeper change than what the current cost is. Because of the fee schedule the council's gonna be voting on, it stays at, well, it'll raise to $40 for 40 square feet or less, which is a big jump really from 25 to 40. And then from there, 100 for 41 to 89, I believe, Randy?
Yes.
And then it scales up going to 100, 200, all the way up to about I think a $750 charge. Is that right, Randy?
700,
700?
up to 400 square feet, and then it's to be determined. But we do have a PDF on our website that says bulk item policy, and it specifies in there the 40 square foot rule, $25 right now, and anything over that 40 square foot rule, it says $100 and up. So it doesn't have the fee schedule on there, but it does indicate it says $40 and up. And sometimes residents will call the department and they'll give us information over the phone. Yeah, I'll have some bulk items out there and it'll be about this size. But when we get out there, it's much bigger.
So maybe we need to show some pictures. Seriously, when people, if they ask or I hear them, I tell them piece of plywood. If it fits on a piece of plywood, it's free. I know that's only 32, but hey. You need to have some pictures.
At the next council meeting, I will have a complete set.
That could even be good with
So,
the information going out, the trash talk update, we're calling it the trash talk update. There's been an overhaul already in terms of the street department, sanitation department policy, and we are communicating that to everyone. The tricky part is, I had what I was putting out on social media, but then there was some stuff we couldn't put out on taxpayer-provided paper until there's a formal vote on it. And so we're about 50% done with that because some of the changes happened at the last council meeting, and then more are happening, well, I hope are happening at the next one.
So, I mean, again, I'm looking at, like this last one, I'm looking at these pictures. I mean, is there a certain point that we say, that's more than we'll pick up? I mean, do we cap it and say, you just need to hire, you need to get a dumpster? I mean, this is excessive of what we would want to pick up?
That is the goal, especially when you're talking about getting over 100 square feet. You should really just call it a dumpster, in my opinion. And that's where we're hoping that this new fee schedule is going to deter people and make people weigh that option, you know?
Yes, okay. All right, thank you.
Going on to the claims. Did everyone have a chance to take a look at those, and were there any questions? Question was brought up if somebody from the fire department is here. I don't believe so.
I'll make a motion, we approve the claims in the amount of $1,041,495.14.
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Major illness claims. Ed, we had some, I believe. Did you have a chance to take a look and make a recommendation?
Thank you, Mayor. I was made aware through an email sent yesterday by Carrie Belt that there were 3 individuals, Mark Vituto, Tyler Bowling, and Chris Alexander, were referenced in this email that they had MI claims. Unfortunately, the email did not include a attachment of the claim form itself. Prior to today's meeting, Clerk Treasurer Modesto and I were trying to put our hands on that. Unfortunately, we could not locate that. There is one that I saw and I have reviewed, found to be conforming with the ordinance. Lynn Graylick, Human Resources Director, has asked that any motion to approve a MI claim today be subject to FMLA certification. So if the Board of Public Works would consider the Mark Walzak claim and otherwise table the other 3 that I referenced, because we simply do not have the forms available to us.
This email that was referenced, which I was aware of it as of, I think, this Sunday when, this got brought up, or should there not be an email like that anymore, given that we now have an HR department? Shouldn't people be contacting HR? I was a little bit surprised to find out it existed.
Yes, as your administration has determined, that should be shifted to HR Director for review. Unfortunately, she's not present today, so I stand in her absence and report as I have today.
I gotcha. Yeah, I just think that it's important that going forward, people realize that, the HR department is where you should be going through to vet, an MI claim.
Yes.
And I think that for the majority of the claims we've had, put in, people have been doing that right. But again, finding out that this email exists, we probably want to address that and either put that email under HR or end that email so that people know to go through the HR department,
I'll be happy to carry that communication back to the administration that sent me the email.
Thank you.
Okay?
Make a motion, we approve the one approved.
That would be Mark Walzak, W-A-L-C-Z-A-K.
No. Contingent upon FMLA certification.
I'll second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
With respect to the other three, I suspect that the board can take those up at the February 26th meeting.
Gotcha. Do we need to continue that then, or do we need like a formal motion on that?
I think you need to table them until the February 26th, 2024 meeting.
I'll make a motion that we table the other two requests for the next Board of Works meeting on the 26th.
I said the 26th, I think it'll be the 27th, right?
Is it the 27th?
Yes.
27th.
Today,
Yeah.
27th.
I'll second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Is there any other I was gonna say, I was just formally asking if there's anything else that needs to come before the board. And then I was gonna be like, oh, and look, there's someone coming up. Yeah.
I'm incognito in the back there. Morning. We're doing some work at the PD, so that's the disguise today. Real quick, unrelated, or kind of related, but on the MI, I was quickly texting back at the PD, and I know we had at least one on there, and I was asking how the process went, and it was from the very beginning of January before we had ever met with the whole HR new stuff. So that might answer part of your question on the email. So it looks like we believe we had two that were sent over prior to the new policy, the new way we're doing things. So that might be part of that. So yeah, it looks like they're just a little bit, maybe a month behind or so for whatever reason. So I don't know if that clears it up, but so I appreciate you guys squeezing me in here real quick. So what we have is we have a canine that we're going to have to retire. Canine Harrow, who currently works with Corporal Creighton Price, was having some health problems. Upon getting those looked at, they found some more health problems. Believe that they can do what they need to for the health of the dog, but he's going to have to be retired. We were basically told that he shouldn't be working anymore. So, and Jamie, you might remember, but for the rest of you guys who are a little bit newer, so this was a dog we got from Hammond PD a couple years ago. Their handler was moving out of the area, and they were looking for somebody basically to take over the dog. So we essentially got this dog at no cost, and he's been a fantastic dog, done great work for us, but he was a little older at the time, and with the health conditions, we're going to have to retire him. So what I'm asking is that the way we've done with our other dogs and handlers is that we transfer ownership over to the handler, so that would be Corporal Creighton Price. I'm looking to probably do the retirement within the next week or so, probably prior to the next meeting, so I kind of just wanted to see if we could get that in here. So I guess maybe if you can do it, if you're willing to accept it, dependent on the retirement date, and then I can write up a formal paperwork and get it to you. But I was kind of wanted to make that, I wanted to get before you guys before waiting a couple more weeks. So
You just need a motion for us to start the ownership transfer?
yeah. I think the way when we did the last one, we did Dan Martinez's dog. We basically set upon the date of retirement that transfer, the ownership transfer would go according to that date. I don't know if that's possible to just do it the same way, but I'm looking to do it probably in the next week. So, I mean, I think this is the end of a pay period Saturday, right? So Sunday would probably work if that works for you guys. Harrow, H-A-R-O. Yeah, it was kind of last minute. I apologize. Coming up here was kind of the way things kind of played out with the medical stuff. We were kind of waiting to see how it was going to shake out. So,
I'll make a motion that we start the ownership transfer of Harrow on February 18th to Creighton Price.
Second?
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
thanks for letting me come up.
Are there any other things to be brought before this board? Hearing none, is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye.